The third topic of Stone Age we'll be discussing about is Neolithic Age. Here, agriculture was discovered between 8000 BC and 4000 BC, and that changed human life. Since agriculture have been discovered, they had to go little, means they did not have to go that much for hunting and gathering. It was great landmark in the history of man. Humans learned the technique of sowing seeds, growing plants, and they finally harvested them. The discovery affected human life in many ways. Since agriculture came, they knew how to plant, and it affected human in many ways. As I've said you, they did not have to go that much for hunting and gathering. At once too, they can't grow so many crops, so they have to go for hunting and gathering to fill their stomach. They gave their nomadic life and became food producers. People now had a steady supply of food grain and vegetables and did not have to depend on hunting only. Since they gave means they were good producers, or they had a steady supply of food grains and the vegetables, so did not have to depend on hunting only. They learned to grow crops such as barley, wheat, rice, pulses, a variety of vegetables, and even cotton. Here it is said about what crops they were, means learned to grow, what crops they learned to grow. They now domesticated animals for a variety of purposes. Goats and cattle provided milk, sheep provided wool, the donkey was tamed for carrying loads, dogs guarded their huts. Here it is said about different animals, means domestic animals, how they came into purposes. Men, women, and children now needed to live in houses near the farms, so they built small houses made of mud, thatch, and reed. In some places, they lived in dwelling pits. In India, Neolithic sites have been found at Maski in Karnataka and Burzahum in Jammu and Kashmir. Here it is said that goats and cattle provide milk, sheep provided wool, donkey was tamed for carrying loads, dogs guarded their huts, as I have said you before. Men, women, and children now they used to live in houses near the farms. They did not have to move from one place to another, so they used to build houses made of mud. They know they don't have to move from one place to another, so why they will make a kacha house? Means not kacha house, we can say. Why they will make a temporary house? They will make a permanent house which was made of mud, thatch, and reed, and they and some places they lived in dwelling pits. And where was it found in India? Maski in Karnataka and Burzahum in Jammu and Kashmir. So now we'll be learning about making of pottery. The early people smoothed clay and made pots with their hands. They dried these pots in the sun and made them harder. Later they hardened the pots by using fire in a kiln and also began to glaze and decorate them. Here it is said that early people had to they smoothed clays and made pots with their hands. As we all know or we have seen in videos or some places, and they used to dry this pot in the sun because if we decorate it that it will break down. We have to dry this to make it little harder. Then this pots used to be fire in a clean to make it more harder, and then they used to glaze or decorate it in art in small classes, or now also we get in art and craft decorate or make a pot or color a pot, means real pot, this clay pot, not by drawing or anything. So we also color or glaze the pot and decorate them. Then making of clothes. They also discovered how to spin thread and then weave it into a cloth. They might have the spindle and early versions of loom. Before the cloth was not discovered, they used to wear the grasses. They used to make clothes from grasses, leaves, and etc. So when discovered had come, they knew how to spin thread and they weaved into a cloth. They might have the spindle and early versions of cloth. Then it came invention of wheel. It is said that the wheel was invented in the new Stone Age. The wheel had many uses. People could now make wheeled carts to transport heavier things and even people. The wheel helped them to make better pots. Now, you must have seen a potter piling up clay on the top of his hill and shaped it as he rotates it to make jars, vases, etc. In the same way, early humans made pottery. Later, people made the spinning wheel to spin thread. So, the first means of transfer started with the invention of the wheel. Here it is stated that the invention of wheel came in the New Stone Age, and wheels had many uses. They could make many things, and they could means did not had to hold many things, or donkeys did not had many means burden. People could make wheel carts from that to transfer heavier means heavier things, and even people used to means sit in that cart and move from one place to another. And wheel had helped them to make pots, because we have seen that a potter piles up a clay on his top of his wheel and shaped it as it's rotate to make jars and vases. In the same way, early humans made pottery. Later, the spinning wheel, which they used for making means pots, had been turned into spin thread. This was the first means of transport started with the invention of wheel. Then comes the prehistoric art, not prehistory. Here it is said prehistoric art. One can hardly believe that early people were great artists. Now you may say that people did not know how to read and write, how they will become great artists. As they took shelter in the caves during cold nights, they painted on its wall. They had running animals and birds at once with arrows stuck in. By painting hunting scenes, they expressed their feelings. Here it is said that in cold nights they used to paint animals, and they made running animals and birds that once with arrows struck, because by this painting they could express their feelings. Some fascinating paintings have been discovered at Lacaux in France, Altamira in Spain, Bhimbetka in India. These are the few places where these paintings have been fascinated. They use brown, reds, and white colors, and sometimes even yellow and green. These were natural colors found in trees, stones, minerals, flowers, and charcoal. We know brown color you will get from trees, red colors you may get from means stones, red stones, white color you may get from some flowers, yellow you can get from flowers and other things, green also same you can get, and other colors which they used were means the means nature colors, where they found these colors were from trees, stones, minerals, flower, and charcoal. So this was the topic of the prehistoric art.